Tensura What If? Silver Timeline by CBCTEBAS Chapter 3 Noir. After Argent and the two Primordials, Blue and Vert's first encounter, Argent has stayed with their group since then. He would spar with them on a regular basis. He also watches them create greater demon descendants for their lineage. While watching, he was able to acquire an ability similar, although it has many limitations and restrictions. The unique skill Depravity. Subskill Corrupt is a type of contract skill that allows someone to swear absolute loyalty to the user or anyone they appointed to. They would be mentally restricted to even have thoughts of betrayal to their master. The master could also manually kill the subordinate by activating the toxins that were used to create the contract. It was this skill that he acquired after multiple magic theories and studying its main concept, to make an imitation from the intrinsic skill of Primordials, Primordial Kin. "All right, I give up," Argent said while raising his hands. And Vert stops and rested her fighting stance. They then walked to each other. "You've been getting stronger, a little more time, and you'll stand equal to us," Vert said. "Ha ha ha, hearing you say that is reassuring. I have been practicing with you guys for months now. It would be disappointing if I didn't improve," Argent said, laughing heartily. Over the past several months he has gotten close to the two Primordials. Enough that the two greater demon subordinates of the two Primordials started speaking to him with respect, even though they were emitting hostilities on their first encounter. "That was a nice fight, Kai. You almost had the fight," said Blue, who just arrived, to comment about the fight. "I know, right? I almost had it. Too bad, maybe next time I'll win." "Thanks for the compliment, Blue Tan," Argent said, replying to Blue enthusiastically. Over the time they spent, Blue and Argent became close, enough that they have nicknames for each other. They both found out that they have close if not extremely similar personalities, which is one of the reasons of their closeness. Although Argent was never this enthusiastic and cheerful, it's because Blue has started rubbing off of him, and has started acting how she would. Days like this are spent with the three of them either fighting each other, just talking over tea prepared by their subordinates, or scouting potential descendants for the two Primordials. On one of those normal days for the three, something unusual happened. They sensed a Primordial near their location. Argent looked at the two beside him, and what he saw made him confused. Blue had a look of annoyance and displeasure. From what he could guess, Blue must hate whoever that Primordial was. Vert doesn't seem to have any negative response on her face though. "Oh, if it isn't Blue and Vert, it has been a while, hasn't it?" said the unknown Primordial who was walking to them. From what Argent could guess, it would be the black Primordial Noir who that person was. "What do you want, Noir? We're busy if you haven't noticed, so go away before your weirdness infects us," said Blue, not even hiding the displeasure in her tone and wanting Noir to leave immediately. "So why are you here anyway? It's rare for you to come in this area," asked Vert, ignoring Blue's taunting to Noir. "Ah, kufufufu. That would be because I'm curious of this individual," he said while looking at Argent. "Huh? Me? Kufufufu, it's very interesting. There should only be 7 Primordials in existence, and yet here is one that could be considered as 8th. Although, it would seem his only half. Kufufufu, I wonder how that works," he added, immediately finding out about Argent. "Well, I guess there is no hiding it. Yes, I am more or less something like a Primordial. I am the Silver Semi-Primordial Argent. It is a pleasure to meet you, Black Primordial Noir," Argent said while slightly bowing. Argent concluded that Noir doesn't seem to mean any harm. "If he wanted to harm me, I wouldn't even have the time to complain. He seems stronger, not the word. Maybe experienced? I don't know. I just know even Blue or Vert would lose to him. And I am weaker than those two at the moment." "Kufufufu, the pleasure's all mine, Argent. Would you mind sparring with me? I'll make sure to hold back and not attack your soul," Noir asked, even stating about not harming Argent's soul, making Argent think that Noir knew about his unstable soul. "I don't mind. However, I would really appreciate if you keep your word about not harming my soul. It's not really in its best form," Argent said with a bitter expression. "Hey Noir, you better not kill Kai here, you hear me?" Blue said, warning Noir. "I am on the same opinion as Blue here, Noir. Don't kill Argent or I would also be your enemy," added Vert. Argent actually felt happy that he wasn't the only one who saw the two as friends, that they would actually defend him. knowing that if he died, he will never be reborn ever again. Kufufufu, but of course, I do keep my promises. You don't have to worry. I already knew that he has an unstable soul. Noir said, trying to reassure the three that he knew the situation. With Vert and Blue a good distance away, Noir and Argent are facing each other only a few meters away from each other. Well then, let us begin, Noir said, and then a metal gauntlet appeared in his hands which has long fingers on both hands. Material creation, huh? I never really tried using it in combat. Next time I train with Blue and Vert I'll use it. Argent took a fighting stance. He is using hand-to-hand combat, which technically should be disadvantageous if they have an armed opponent. Even worse is, Argent is only using self-taught hand-to-hand combat. Noir made the first move. Testing Argent, he made a simple frontal attack using the claw-like gauntlet. He tried slashing at Argent diagonally. Whoosh, which Argent quickly dodged by moving to the side and using his backhand as a shield if anything happens. Argent tried landing a punch to Noir's stomach. Noir using his palm redirect the punch to the side. And he tried slashing Argent once more. Back and forth piercing and slashing from Noir, and punching and grabbing from Argent. It has been couple of minutes since the fight began and using physical combat have placed them in a stalemate situation. Wow. I would have expected AR Kai to lose already. I mean sure, that bastard Noir is probably holding back. But that doesn't change the fact that AR Kai is keeping up with him. Blue muttered. Her facial expression showing surprise and amazement for her best friend. Indeed, when it comes to physical combat Argent has always been talented. We just keep winning because of our magic and experiences. If it was only physical combat 7 out of 10 fights we would have lose in a one-on-one with Argent. Vert stated. Which, Blue looked at her in disbelief. Really, is that true? I mean sure the damages he mostly does to us is physically applied. And, whenever I felt like I was losing, I would resort to long range and strategically using magic on him. But, I never really thought about it that way. Blue said with surprise and started mulling about her previous fights with his best friend. As this was happening the fight continues. Argent realized that the longer the fight continues the lesser his chance of winning is. Of course he knew that Noir is holding back against him. But, he wanted even if only for a moment for him to take it seriously. While fighting in melee Argent was preparing multiple magic attacks for Noir. When he took a step back and activated the magic. Multiple of them could be seen in the surrounding numbering around 20 in total. Before they could all activate, they were all disappeared. No, they were neutralized. Noir realized the magic circles from the start and analyzed them all with the help of thought acceleration and with his unique skill Great Wiseman. Clap clap clap. That was some marvelous show of magic. To be able to activate that many in a few seconds, truly you are in essence one of his primordials. Noir said clapping his hands giving genuine praise to Argent. Not even having the time to be surprised, Noir was able to plant a hit on Argent albeit only a small wound to the side. Argent groaned in frustration. Ah, he's finally taking it seriously. Argent heard someone said. He never really had the time to process who said it. Noir is finally taking it seriously. Noir casted a nuclear magic attack on Argent, which he was able to dodge out of sheer luck. Even with multi-layer barrier Argent was sure he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Noir continued to launch nuclear magic on Argent as well as attacking him physically from time to time. Argent's mind was in total overdrive trying to think of a way to get out of this situation. After the last nuclear magic attack, Noir was coming at him with one final blow using his claw-like gauntlet. Using thought acceleration, Argent was thinking of a way out of it. Shit. What do I do? Should I block it? No, too risky. Then dodge? Can't dodge. Noir's speed is faster than I can dodge. What to do? Ag pack it. In the end he stopped thinking and let instinct in his own body take control. He activated material creation and created a sword. He poured large amount of magicules in the sword as well as imbuing predators consuming properties and depravities corrosive properties. Of course using multiple unique skills at the same time would have normally been impossible to completely manage alone. That's why this would only last for at best 5 seconds. And in those 5 seconds with the instinct and muscle memory that he never knew he had. He used a sword like he has been doing for years. Like a professional swordsman, he was able to deflect the incoming claws by swinging upwards, chain, and using the momentum to do a downward swing. Noir was surprised because of the sudden change in demeanor of Argent. From his point of view, the inexperienced demon that he was fighting with was nowhere to be seen. Instead, what stood was a natural-born fighter with the eyes that has seen wars and fought fights that no one can ever fathom. Even more than that, he felt that Argent was somehow familiar. Someone he feels that he knows, someone he admires. He feels like he is seeing a blurry vision of the future and that he knows this person is someone he serves and someone he deeply respects. His mind not in the battle currently happening. In reflex, he used his right arm to block the incoming attack from above. Swoosh, slash thud, which resulted in his wrist getting cut off. After swinging and cutting of Noir's wrist, Argent dropped to his knees and before passing out because of exhaustion muttered, "Haze. Thunder of heaven and earth H." Blue and Vert couldn't believe what they just saw. Noir the Black Primordial, the one said to equal Rouge in a fight. The one who is fighting Rouge for the position of King of the Underworld, was just injured by someone other than Rouge himself. The two couldn't move, not being able to process it. Of course they knew Noir won, but that wasn't doubted from the start. But being injured like that was never expected. Quickly after a few minutes they started running to where Argent was, making sure that he is okay. When they arrived, they quickly started healing him, and were both glad that he was only passed out. Noir was still in a daze about that feeling he just felt. That blurry vision also didn't help to explain. In fact, it made things even more complicated for him. This feeling in my chest. That vision, that person's face, his expression, his fighting techniques. So familiar and yet not at the same time. OIR. No. Hey, Noir. Blue was screaming in front of Noir, who just got out of his daze. Oh. Is it over? Noir said, looking at his missing wrist as well as Argent, who was passed out. That was unexpected. Why did you let your guard down? You should really stop underestimating your opponents, you know, said Vert, who was treating Argent. That's true. I was just thinking that he seemed familiar somehow. Although, it's probably just my imagination, said Noir in reply. Whatever excuses you have, that should be it, right? You want to fight him? Now that's over, you can go now, said Blue, while using her hand to shoo Noir away. That's true. Very well. That's fine with me. Thank you all for the time, he said, looking at Argent one last time before teleporting away. That demon. Kufufufu, very interesting.